talk about how you remade your diet in the off season. Recommit your diet, change your diet.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always been a rough thing for me growing up was putting weight on. So that was something I always struggled with for years. But it was just one of those things where coming into this year, it was just really focusing on like making sure I just had enough calories because being with football and engineering and all that, it was really hard to fit in all the food that I needed for the day. So that was the main thing, just making sure that I was just the amount of food I was eating was enough.
Any idea or a sample of maybe what it is you would eat?
I mean, I can't really give you specifics because it changes every day, but it's just trying to eat as much as I can.
You had to start taking food with you more often when you would just be out?
Oh, yeah. It got to a point where they were sending me with a lunchbox to classes to keep snacks and food on me so that I would always be eating in class and stuff like that.
What kind of lunchbox?
I don't one about that big, just
so
a regular lunch. Yeah.
Lunchbox.
No, it's just a regular old lunchbox.
You have a cup of pudding in there?
No, maybe a couple of Uncrustables though.
The dynamic between you and Reggie, when you're going to be sort of like sharing a job with somebody, do you have to get along? And was that something you sought out, or did it happen easily?
I think it was something that's really easy, just because I'm never going to be a guy that's, especially a teammate, where I'm just going to be like, oh no, whatever. Because Reggie's a really cool guy. He's really fun to talk to, and I think we're getting really close. But I don't think that ever has any play into anything of that nature.
When they were recruiting him through the portal, did you have any feedback in that process? Did they have you touch base with him? Or?
Not necessarily. Just whenever we realized we're going to be recruiting him, I just reached out and said what's up and just introduced myself. So it was a pretty simple process. But I love Reggie. He's a really good guy, so we get along great.
Elijah and Jaheim, what do they offer behind you guys on the depth chart?
So I definitely think that EJ and Ja, EJ especially, he's really committed to working hard and actually just taking the extra mile to try and get himself onto the field, and I really appreciate him for that. Ja has really good size, and he has a really good ability to move, and he can thud some people up. So I think they both bring something to the table that's going to be valuable for both of us, and just the want-to factor to actually get out there and really bang heads.
Are you sort of an inspiration to some of the other walk-ons here? Did they ever come up and talk to you?
I've never had a personal conversation, but just young guys where they feel like they're having a hard time or something. I just go talk to them like, hey, I've been there, I know what it's like. So I just kind of try and give them the tools to keep their head on straight and keep on the straight and narrow.
I don't know how many truly live reps you guys have had so far, but how many times have you encountered Kydron as a middle linebacker now?
Coming out here with KJ, being an NFL guy, obviously, coming and playing middle linebacker, so every time he's rushing up the middle, I'm thinking, all right, this is my rep against the NFL prospect. So, it's really good work to have him in the linebacker spot for us to work against him. So I think it's very beneficial for all of us as running backs to get work against him.
What is the experience of pass pro against him?
Against him, he's a really shifty guy, but obviously very big and very athletic. So he can kind of do as he pleases in a sense, so you really have to get up there and hit him first before he can get to you.
Lamar talked about how he wants you to be the athlete that you are and the crazy legs and all that, but also wants you to be more of a power runner. How do you strike that dynamic where you're trying to finish off runs with power versus, in the past trying to make a move and just get around the guy for, sometimes to a detriment of the team?
What I'd say is that I've always had that kind of mentality to want to run through a guy, but obviously I didn't have the size to do that last year or the year before. So I think it'll make a very big difference with the weight that I have this year to actually be able to run how I was more comfortable running versus trying to get away from stuff,
Does it help to have seen what Tyrone did and how that got him to the NFL, what Reggie can do, to kind of follow those examples?
Yeah, both of those guys are hard-nosed guys, and they have a really good ability to break tackles, especially running through contact. So I think it's just good to be around that kind of stuff so that we all kind of share that same mentality.
You guys brought in a handful of guys across the field from Georgia through the portal this year. Is anything about the way those guys carry themselves, the way they talk? Coming from a program that has had that kind of level of success, that is reverberating with the rest of this roster?
Especially when they first came in, you can tell that they're just really confident guys in their abilities because, they've been other vet guys that had their playing time. They know how to operate as a professional. So I think with them coming in, just having more vets coming in to show and be an example for more young guys, I think it was a really good thing for us.
What do you remember about that game against Indiana State 2 years ago where you kind of got thrown in late in a blowout and had a big run, I think, and then a few weeks after that, you're the #1 guy. That was kind of your first introduction to college football,
I guess, Indiana State would have been my first college reps ever at all, so it was, I don't know, it's really cool to see.
Do you even have an offer from Indiana State?
Nope.
Do you have any sense of maybe what you can accomplish here, Devin? You got 2 more years. Maybe you can finish the top runners in school history.
I mean, I'm not a speculatory guy, so I just play it as it comes. So I'm never someone that's looking that far into the future about stuff like that. I'm just taking it a day at a time.